welcome to the Intuitively Wild podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Levine. Living intuitively wild is about coming back home to ourselves. Here we talk about how to live connected to ourselves, others, and nature, and make a commitment to radical authenticity, vulnerability, and acceptance. On this podcast, we delve into a wide range of topics that span the human experience. We peel back the layers and talk about the things that are often not talked about. This is a space for us all to walk and wander this path of life together. Let's dig into our roots and go deep. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to this month's reflection and intention setting episode. I am so excited to be here with you guys. Happy August. I don't know about you, but July was a lot. July brought a lot of emotions, a lot of energy, a lot of healing and transforming and releasing, and it just brought a lot. And as always, it is important to reflect on what came so we can move forward into what has to come and integrate all that we learned and all that we released and really process it all. It's so important to bring these reflections into our life. So that's what we're going to start with. We are going to go into some reflecting about July. We're going to talk about some journal prompts that we can use to really help us process July and then transition into August. We are going to talk about things that helped us this month, the products, concepts, practices that at Intuitively Wild we utilized in July, and just what happened behind the scenes at Intuitively Wild. And then we are going to move into August and talk about the plant-based events happening in the month of August, what we can expect, a little energy overview, and then journal prompts for August to set our intentions. We're going to talk about some tools that we can utilize from the apothecary and what's happening with Intuitively Wild this month. And then we are going to talk about our intentions on a more specific level for August. So that's the overview. That's what we're getting into today. And let's get right into it. So, as I said, we're going to start with some journal prompts for July. And these will all be linked in a blog post coming out this Sunday. So if you don't want to write them down, you will have access to that blog post very soon, both on Substack and on my blog on the website. So the first journal prompt is, what did July reveal to you? Number 2, what emotions were present for you throughout July? How did July nourish you? How did July challenge you? What was your intention for July? And how did this intention unfold for you? So I really, really recommend you take time to sit with those journal prompts and maybe meditate before, or just create a sacred space for yourself to sit down and reflect. You can even talk about it with someone else or write it in your notes app, or go on a walk and contemplate. Just take some time with those questions in whatever way feels good for you. Again, there is no right or wrong way to do this. It's about letting what comes up, what needs to come up, and being curious about that and open to that. So now we're going to talk about some tools that helped us this month. Okay, the first is a product that helped us this month, or a physical, tangible item. And for me, July was chamomile. I utilized chamomile so much in July in a way I never have before, which is really interesting because I long ago disregarded chamomile as an overused herb. It is the only herbal tea offered by cafes and restaurants mostly. I only drink herbal drinks, and tea is my drink of preference. So whenever I'm going to a cafe or a coffee shop or a restaurant and I want to get an herbal tea, for the most part, they will only have chamomile and peppermint. And I'm not a mint gal, so I'm always drinking chamomile. And that made me disregard it. I never really felt the benefits. Some people say, it's known to help you sleep and calm you down, and I just used it because that was the only option I had. And I am funny in that way that when something is very common, I don't really want anything to do with it unless I really love it. But because chamomile was so common, I automatically disregarded it as a not as powerful or potent plant medicine. And for a while that actually did ring true for me, because although I was fine with drinking it, it didn't hold any deep medicine for me. But this month I found myself turning to it just intuitively, wanting to use it in my own practice at home. When I was making tea, I made face masks with it and body oils with it. And I think it was amidst the fiery activation of the season and irritation of the heat, I just found myself feeling pulled towards it. And I just leaned into that. I didn't question it. I just started utilizing the abundance of chamomile more than ever. And I infused it into oils to calm my skin. I soaked it into compresses. Again, I've been having a skin reaction all of July. I had one. It's been off and on for months. That is another topic that I will go into very soon on some platform. But I was using chamomile to calm that. I mixed it with honey and put it on my skin. I added it to elixirs to soothe and center and slow down. And honestly, it helped. And I'm really grateful that I was able to tune into that calling to utilize it and just go with that. And currently, chamomile can be found in our intention oil in the Rooted Rituals range and our reflector tea in our human design herbal blends, and can also be requested in a custom tea blend. And you don't have to just be a reflector to order our reflector tea. It can also help you harness the energy of the reflector type, which is found in everyone. Or you can just go out and buy some chamomile and see how that feels for you. But I think that as the summer continues to go on, chamomile will continue to be an ally that we can really utilize, especially since it is so easily accessible. Okay, so next topic, we're talking about some concepts that we delved into in July. And July, this month, we went deeper into the variables in human design. If you don't know, the variables are the 4 arrows that can be found at the top of your chart. And if you're looking at a chart that doesn't have the arrows, I would highly recommend finding one that does, because that just means your chart is missing some key components, and most technologies will have them, but it is a deeper level of the chart, so some leave them out. If you need help finding a chart that has the arrows, let me know and I will help you find that. And the 4 arrows, the variables, they are, like I said, a deeper layer of your chart. So starting with strategy and authority is so important. But as you go deeper, these variables can unlock a whole new layer of your self-understanding and approach to life. I will say utilizing the variables in my own life and bringing them into my work with my clients and my mentorship has been transformative. And also when I share them with friends and family, it can be honestly even more impactful and life-changing than any other part of the chart. And that's how it's felt this past month. And to give you a very brief summary, if you're looking at the arrows, starting with the top left, that correlates to your digestion, and not just how you digest food, but also how you digest information and life in general. And then below that, the bottom left is about your environment, what environment you thrive in. And then going to your bottom right, that is about your motivation, your why, for why you do what you do and why you are pulled to do things. And then top right is your perspective, how you see the world and how you're meant to see the world. And I say them in that order because that's kind of the order that they fall into place. Your digestion needs to be aligned for you then to tap into the environment layer of your chart, and so on and so forth. And the variables provide depth and nuance into who you are and how you function, how you see the world, how you're meant to exist in the world, and just too much more. And I've been having so much fun going into these layers and seeing how this plays out and informs our lives. And like I said, the Intuitively Wild mentorship clients get the full scope of this knowledge and insight in our work together. So if you're interested in going into that, I would be so excited to work with you around your variables and just how that can show up in your life and how that is showing up in your life and helping you understand yourself more from that perspective. And next, we are going to be talking about July's practice. So we've been intentionally incorporating presence practices into our daily life at Intuitively Wild, and not just the typical meditation or mindfulness practices that bring you into the present moment. We've been utilizing presence to cultivate more awareness and choice. So I'm going to give you an example of what this practice looks like, and you can try it out in your own life. So the steps are about presence, awareness, choice, and intention. So the first step, presence, is to start bringing yourself consciously into your body and mind and asking, what is present for me in this moment? What emotion, what thought, what sensation? And how you create this presence is up to you. It can be meditation, it can be journaling, it can look like anything. Those specifics are a whole other topic. We're just kind of giving the broad strokes of this practice. The second step is awareness. Once we are present, we can cultivate awareness around how our present situation is impacting us. Is this what we need or want to be present with right now? Is it helpful? Is it useful? Is it important? And step 3, choice. With this deeper awareness, we are giving ourselves the ability to choose. Do I want to stay in this presence, or do I want to shift my present awareness? What do I actually need or want to be present with in this moment? What needs my awareness, my intention, my attention, my energy? And that brings us to step 4, intention. What is my intention regarding my presence and attention going forward? What can I commit and devote myself to for the rest of the day, the rest of the afternoon, the rest of the week, the rest of the month? And so making the choice, making the intention, and living from there. And like I said, these are just the general steps. If you need support creating even more personalized and specific and detailed practices for you within each step, within each topic, please reach out. Again, that's something I work with my mentorship clients. And also hopefully the insights and tools that are provided through the podcast and my Instagram and the apothecary and ritualism help you in that as well. You can find specific tools for this exact type of work in the ritualism guide in ritualism. So highly recommend checking that out if you have yet to do so. So that brings us to what happened behind the scenes at Intuitively Wild in July. Well, first of all, we launched Ritualism, which was such a joy for me. I loved creating that product, and that's our evergreen product. So that will be available anytime for everyone. And it's your personalized manual to intentional living. It's truly our foundational tool for living intuitively wild. And that will be linked in the show notes. So all the details are below for that. And we also launched our Substack and created multiple ways for us to connect over there. If you don't know, we have 2 tiers. We have the free subscription, which is the newsletter every Wednesday, and then our blog posts. And then our paid tier, which every Monday we have Ritual, Root, and Reconnect. It is a weekly intention setting ritual through audio where I come on, I record it on that Monday, and it is such a deeply connecting practice for us to come together and set our intentions and the energy for the week. And then every Friday, I write a personal share from the soul and heart of Rachel as the founder and a personal being. And I share that on Substack every Friday. We also had conversations on the podcast about human design, yoga therapy, tarot, the Capricorn full moon. I have been absolutely loving coming on the podcast. It is truly such a joy to come on and record every time I do. So thank you so much for being here. And we also have been sharing more details about the apothecary and so much more behind the scenes, which I'll get into some of that in August's section. So with that being said, let's get into August. So what is happening in August? First of all, obviously, I'm recording this ahead of time, but we are officially in Leo season. I'm actually recording this on the first day of Leo season, and we will be transitioning from Leo to Virgo season August 22nd. And then the rest of August, we will be in Virgo season. And I'm a Virgo. I'm a double Virgo. My sun and moon are in Virgo, and I also have a lot of placements in Leo. So these seasons usually feel, if not more comfortable, because they can still be challenging, at least I feel more at home in them. Like they feel more familiar. So I'm always, I love Leo season. I love Virgo season. And I just have a good feeling. I have a good feeling about this time. I have a good feeling about August. And August, we also have Lammas, which is a harvest festival that takes place on August 2nd. So by the time this comes out, it will have already happened. But it's a time to gather with community members and give thanks for the abundance of the year's harvest. And the word Lammas comes from an Old English phrase that means loaf mass. Like I said, it's a harvest celebration, a community gathering. And traditionally, it was a time when the abundance of the future harvest or the lack of abundance could be predicted based on the fruits growing on the vine. And so it's really a time to celebrate abundance, what we have in our lives, nature, and the abundance it provides us, and to be really present with that. So it's a beautiful time to come together in ceremony with friends and family, maybe over a meal or go fruit picking, apple picking. I know around here a lot of farms have you picking, and you go and pick apples or blueberries or strawberries yourself, whatever is in season at the moment. And even though this passed just a couple of days ago, it's still this week. It's still the energy present right now. So I recommend celebrating that and really tuning into the abundance you feel around you in this time, in this season. We also then have the new moon in Leo, which just happened August 4th. So this past Sunday. And then tomorrow we go into the Lionsgate portal, which is always August 8th because it's 8/8. And this year it's actually 888 because 2024, when you count it up, when you add it up, it is the number 8. So extra special Lionsgate portal. And I won't go too deep into the meaning or the energy of that, but it's just a time to really tap into, again, abundance and what you are trying to call in, the energy you are trying to attract, really tuning into your intuition and what you are feeling drawn to right now. And then we have the first quarter moon, which is August 12th, and the full moon in Aquarius, which is August 19th, which will be next week's solo podcast will be the ritual for the full moon in Aquarius. So stay tuned for that. And then we have the last quarter moon on August 26th. And when I was trying to think of a title for this month, if we could summarize it in a spiffy title to kind of hone in on the energy, what came to me finally was August is for arriving. And what I mean by that is August is for, yes, being present with what is here for us, really allowing for the joy and the vibrancy and the abundance and magic that is this season right now, even if it's not summer where you are. And also arriving within yourself, really feeling at home within yourself. The energy of Leo is about confidence and courage and believing in your heart's desires and going after your heart's desires and really being devoted to what you want. And not comparing yourself to other people or thinking you're less than or putting other people on pedestals, but really arriving with who you are and embracing that, being confident in that, and owning that. And Virgo season, again, is very connected to the body. And if you aren't present with your innate gifts and aren't arriving within yourself, it can be easy to be taken off track in that way in Virgo season. So really honing in on the energy of arriving in your body, and not just your physical body, but the soul of who you are. Really taking stock of who you are and owning that and showing up in that way and being confident in that. Kind of like settling into our skin, settling into our bones, and showing up in the world in that way, not trying to be something we're not or be somewhere we're not, just arriving with who we are and what life is for us right now and loving that. Our journal prompts for this month: what story have you attached to that you are ready to rewrite for yourself? What is one fear you can challenge yourself with this month? What is one way you can cultivate more courage and confidence this month? What is one ritual you can devote yourself to in order to move closer to your dreams? What is your intention for the month? And some tools from the apothecary to tune into for August. Our top suggestion is the Grounded Elixir, which is from the Rooted Rituals range, and it's here to help you create an intentional ritual around aligning with your most alive self. It is the ultimate magic medicine to help you regulate your nervous system, soothe your anxiety, ground you in the present moment, promote alignment in your body, mind, and spirit, and support you in living the life of your dreams. It's perfect for tuning into the energy of summer and Leo season and Virgo season and pushing past your growth edge with support, safety, and grounding. And it will really help you arrive in your body, in your soul, in your bones, and eradicate any anxiety or ungroundedness that could pull you away from that. If you want more details and the exact ingredients, plants in that remedy, the links will be found below, and all the other remedies that you can find in the apothecary. Okay, what's happening with Intuitively Wild this month? Well, first to start, we'll be really honing in on the Rooted Rituals range in the apothecary and the human design herbal blends, and talking more and more about how these remedies can support you and ways for you to work this into your ritual and utilize it in your everyday life in really actionable and practical ways. So there's that. And then our Substack will be continuing to hone in on the schedule that works for us over there on posting and what you guys prefer, what you guys want to see, and just watching how that evolves. We are really excited about how the newsletter is unfolding, and also our Ritual Root and Reconnect intention setting segments have been so special. So Substack will continue to grow and develop. And then our mentorship, we have 3 slots open for August. So if you are looking for support creating your intuitively wild life and going deep within yourself and your self-understanding, your self-connection, your connection to nature and others, and really diving in on creating the life that is in alignment for you and need support with that, I would love to talk to you about that. We have payment plans available, and any questions or concerns that you might have regarding the whole process, please reach out and we can go into more detail about that. And lastly, and most new, is YouTube. We have been posting the podcasts on YouTube now, and along with some shorts of quotes from the podcast. But I will now be doing weekly vlog style videos about embodying living intuitively wild. How I'm living intuitively wild in my daily life, what that means to me, what that looks like, ways we can do that together, some challenges, some ways to confront those challenges, thoughts I have on my mind, and overall different things that are going on in the business and how all of that comes together to help us connect to ourselves and each other and nature more and more. And this is definitely going to be a learning process for me, especially on the technology front, figuring out how I want to edit these and really construct them exactly how I want. I have the image and the ideas in my brain, and bringing that from my brain into reality is the tricky part, but I'm committing to it, and I'm so excited about it. So I'd love to know what you guys want to see, what kind of YouTube videos you like watching, and anything that comes up for you around YouTube. So I'm really excited to share these with you guys, and I feel like it will also be another way for us to connect and really live out living intuitively wild. And I'd really love to know what you guys have coming up in August, things that you are looking forward to or excited about, things that you want to create and work on, what you want to pour your energy and attention towards, things that you are nervous about or frustrated about, or any challenges coming up in August, anything you are working through or working towards. I would love to hear about it, all of it. I would love to share and be in it with you all. And that brings us to August's intention. So I created 3 different intentions that I'm going to share, and you can choose your magic. So choose one that resonates with you, or you can create your own based off of these or create something completely different. But I wanted to share a few that we are tapping into here at Intuitively Wild for August. So the first one is, I'm confident in who I am, courageous enough to go after what I want, and compassionate with myself throughout it all. The second, I embrace play, joy, passion, and ease in all that I do. And third, I'm creating a life that I love to live. And if you do create your own, you want to state it in the present tense and really own it so that when you speak it to yourself, you can embody that right now and know that it is present for you right now. And so from that, our words for August are confidence, play, courage, joy, compassion, ease, creativity, and passion. And so if it feels good for you, you can choose one of those words that is an even more specific focus and easy touch point for the month. Write it down on a card and carry it with you everywhere, or put it on your desk or on your altar or somewhere that you can look at it every day to tap into as your reminder of your intention for the month. And again, all of this will be in the blog post coming out on Sunday. So if you need to read this out, that will all be there. I really feel that August holds so much magic for all of us, especially if we are able to be intentional with where we put our energy and our devotion and how we show up in the world. When we are intentional with how we show up in the world, we can create the world we want to live in and the life we want to live. And all of that is done through ritual. Ritual is what allows us to be really intentional with our thoughts and our actions and our way of being. And so I hope that this podcast helps you tune into that and create that life for yourself, because you are deserving of living a really present, intentional, and alive life that suits you and works for you. I am so grateful to all of you for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Again, please reach out with any thoughts or insights or concerns or questions. I would love to hear from you. And again, look forward to next week's episode where we are talking about the ritual for the Aquarius full moon. And I will see you guys all then for more magic. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Intuitively Wild, the podcast. I hope it helped deepen your connection to yourself, sparked some insights, and inspired you to live intuitively wild. If you enjoyed this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you would share it with others and leave a rating and review. And please reach out to me. I would love to connect with you. I will see you next time for more magic.